Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I am Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire, sitting in for David Pakman. I've been sitting in for David all of this week. He will return to you on Monday. I promise. He has given me his word. But let's finish things up here, shall we? And of course, as I've done every day this week, you got to talk a little bit about Joe Manchin, public enemy number one. And now we're finding out that Republicans, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, are actively trying to recruit Joe Manchin over to the dark side. Come to us officially, they're telling him. And that's not hyperbole either. Literally, it's been reported that John Cornyn admitted to sending Joe Manchin a text message inviting him to come and join the Republican Party in the Senate. We're your friends. You're just like us. Come on, Joe, what do you say? Mitch McConnell, however, said in an interview with the New York Times, "Obviously, we would love to have him on our team. I think he'd be more comfortable. Why in the world would they, the Democrats, want to call him a liar and try to hotbox him and embarrass him? I think the message is we don't want you around. Obviously, that is up to Joe Manchin, but he is clearly not welcome on that side of the aisle." Joe Manchin himself this week also talked about the bullying that he's receiving from those on the left for killing the Build Back Better Act and said, they ought to push me into the Republican Party. That's what he said. And I think these Republicans took that as, if they're not going to push you, we're going to try to pull you. So come on, Joe. And to be honest, think about it this way. Obviously, if Joe Manchin were to leave the Democratic Party, go over to the Republicans, they get the majority, they take over the committees and all of that, it's horrible, right? Right? Is it? The Democrats are already struggling to get anything done because they have only 50, and Republicans have 50. And Joe Manchin is the biggest roadblock. Now, I understand 100%. If Joe Manchin were to leave the Democrats, become a Republican, give them the majority, nothing gets done. The Voting Rights Act, kiss that goodbye. Any chance of getting a different version of Build Back Better, gone. But what are the chances of those things happening with Joe Manchin as a Democrat anyway? Wouldn't it make more sense, electorally speaking, for the Democrats to boot Joe Manchin, don't give him the option, tell him you're out, and then let the Republicans take the fall for it? The public wants the Build Back Better Act. So if you can pin the whole thing on Republicans, if Joe Manchin were to go over there, wouldn't that be a better campaign message? Look, we tried to give you all these things and it got so bad that one of our guys ended up becoming a Republican because he hates it so much. He doesn't want you to have good things. So he's joining the party that continuously refuses to let you have good things. Because that's what they stand for. Because that's who they are. So if you want these things, we got to get the majority back. Now, as again, I've talked about that this week. Republicans have to defend 20 seats. 20 seats. In 2022. That requires a lot of money, and the odds significantly reduce that you're going to hold on to every single one of those seats the more you have to defend. You also have members who are considering retirement, some who've already announced retirement. So in those new races, of course, that's going to be far more expensive, and it opens the door for a Democrat challenger to seize the seat. So Democrats could probably come up with a winning message by getting rid of Joe Manchin. Because again, then the entire boogeyman becomes the Republican Party. I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility, as a very real electoral strategy that the Democratic Party should at least consider. And if you're not willing to kick Joe Manchin out, or not willing to push him over to the other side, then at the very least, don't let him get his hands on the DNC money when he's not going to support the Democratic Party itself. I mean, after all, reports have also come out this week saying that he's receiving so much corporate cash right before he announced that he was not going to be supporting the Build Back Better Act. So Joe Manchin will be fine. Hell, he's not even up for re-election for a while. So don't worry about him. Kick him out, make him part of the enemy, and see what you can come up with in terms of electoral strategy messaging once that happens. You keep him in the party, you're going to have to deal with him and his problems and the negativity that he brings with him for at least another full year. And to me, personally, I just don't think that's worth it.
Your internet activity and data is being observed by a variety of parties. They're selling your information. They're deciding what you can access. Don't let it happen to you. I use Atlas VPN to keep my internet traffic private from ISPs, tech platforms, online marketers, even governments. And Atlas VPN keeps me protected against hackers, people eavesdropping on networks to steal your information. If I turn on Atlas VPN before logging into Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon, I can access streaming content from other countries. I can even watch stuff from Argentina, like soccer. I use Atlas VPN on all of my devices. You install it, you turn it on once, and then you just forget about it and enjoy your privacy. You can read online about why VPNs are so important to use every day. Really something you should have, and Atlas VPN is having a huge sale, giving you 86% off. Comes out to like $1.39 a month for a subscription. Plus, you'll get 3 months free. Just go to atlasv.pn/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.